Hey, eBay sellers, it's Suzanne A. Wells, and thank you for coming back for another episode. I have kind of a funny story about something I sold last week, so I wanted to share this with you because I didn't really put it all together until after I sold it and people started commenting on my sale. And This is just an instance where your age can definitely work in your favor on eBay because you remember things in the news. So, this is about a Martha Stewart coming home poncho. So, here's the story. Um, and yes, Martha says it's a good thing to sell on eBay. If you're old, you remember that's what she said on her TV show all the time. So I found this poncho at Goodwill, and this is it. And it had this tag, Martha Stewart or Martha Clothing for Living. So obviously I recognize that's Martha Stewart. It's got her teal greenish color there. Um, and it wasn't half price or anything. It was like $6. And I just thought it looked cool. It's like this is kind of the style, people are wearing ponchos, and it was like wool and alpaca. It was made of nice materials and it felt really nice, and I was like, "Oh, this just looks kind of cool. This will probably sell." So, I put it in my cart and I took it out. Do I really don't want to pay full price for this? And I was like, I kept getting this urging, "Yes, get it. Yes, this will sell. This will sell." So I listened to that inner voice, that intuitive voice that you develop after selling on eBay for a while. You just get a feel for things. So when I looked up completeds on eBay, they were only selling for like between $17 and $28, and some of them were new and they weren't selling for that much. But now I know that the problem here is they didn't put the right keywords in their listings. They could have gotten a lot more because the coming home part of it is very important. So I also checked on Etsy, and there were a few on Etsy that were $50 to $60. This one's for $69. It was listed. Now these are active on Etsy because there's no way to search completeds on Etsy that I'm aware of. But this was plus size, so you're always going to get more for plus size. So I was just, okay, what the heck? I'm going to go ahead and just list it. I also kept finding this Martha Stewart coming home poncho patterned kit. And I'm like, why, what is this coming home all about? I just was like, I guess, like you put it on when you're coming home from the store, you put it on when you're coming home from a vacation. I don't know. That's just what they called it. And it was all this information about this pattern to make this poncho yourself, but there weren't any on eBay that active at all. This was like I'm thinking this is either nobody wants this because there aren't any out there, or this is kind of a rare thing. So I just went ahead and listed it. You just got to make a decision and move on. I put 49.01. I've started a new pricing thing where I put the cents corresponds with the month I listed in, so I can easily see how long I've had it. It's just a way that I'm testing out this new system. So some of my prices are like 11, 12. Now we're into January, so it's 01. So that's just a thing I'm doing. And it sold in like 2 days. I bought it on the 9th, got it listed, and it sold immediately, like within 2 days, which is immediately to me. So I'm like, okay, great. So then I posted the sale on my Facebook group, Money Making Mondays. And I just put, I found this and thought it looked cool. Who knew Martha Stewart made clothing? Not me. This was a QVC special. Paid $6 at Goodwill, and it sold in 48 hours for $49. Well, then everybody starts talking about this is what she wore home from prison when she was released from prison. And I'm like, of course, I just didn't put that together when I was putting it up for sale. Knowing that now, I would have asked more because it was actually made by her company. It could be kind of like a collectible thing. I don't know. I would have asked more because there wasn't any exactly like it on the internet anywhere. But I just didn't put that together. So if you don't know the story, in 2001, Martha Stewart committed securities fraud and then conspiracy and obstruction of justice to try to cover it up. So it's this huge long story. You can Google that and read about the exact charges and stuff. But in 2003, she was indicted by the government for securities fraud. And this was huge news. This was all over the news, all over the talk shows. This was huge because Martha Stewart was this upstanding citizen, this, you know, incredibly successful entrepreneur, and she did something wrong and got caught. So this was all over the news. So then in 2004, she was sentenced to 5 months in prison. She went to a women's prison in West Virginia and did her 5 months there. And when she got out in 2004, there was all these pictures of her walking to her private jet to go back home, you know, to New England, wearing this poncho. And so here's some pictures of that. She's wearing the poncho. She's out of jail. She's going back home. And the story is that somebody in prison with her made this poncho for her to wear home. And I mean, this was like not a mistake. This was all planned. So then in 2005, she actually marketed this poncho. This was a huge marketing thing. And that's what the patterns were all about, so that you could make it yourself. So it wasn't like mass produced and sold. It was more about, you know, it's a Martha Stewart pattern that you can make yourself. And David Spade even did a skit, well, a bunch of them, on Saturday Night Live, you know, dressed up as her with the wig and everything, and wearing this poncho, you know, as Saturday Night Live does. They get a hold of the news and just, you know, do their little skits and comedy about it. So that was going on. Well, then finally, you know, she got back to business, got back to her show, and had him on her show, and it was this whole thing about the poncho. So, takeaways from this experience. You know, this is my 15th year on eBay, and I still learn stuff every day. Go with your gut feeling. If you're out there sourcing and shopping, or you see something and you just have this gut feeling that that's going to be a good thing to sell, as Martha would say, it's a good thing, go with it. You know, there's a saying I like, that when you're praying, you're talking to God. When you have this intuitive feeling, that's God or the universe or whatever you call it talking to you. You know, you need to listen to that. And I have had this happen more than once, where it's just like I have this gut feeling, this is going to do well, go with it. Do your research. Had I researched a little bit more, I would have realized I had something pretty unique here. I probably could have gotten more money for it, since it was made by her actual company and not handmade by somebody else. So that's probably why it sold so fast. And putting the words "coming home" in the title was, I think, huge, because those other ones that sold, they were new with tags, but they didn't say "coming home poncho" in the title. And who knows if somebody was looking for that, you know, specific thing for whatever reason. And the biggest one here is that your age can help you in your eBay business, because you remember events that actually happened. So this was, let's see, it all started in 2001, so that was 17 years ago. So if you are Gen X or baby boomer, you remember all this going on, and you may not remember all the details, but yeah, there was a thing where Martha Stewart went to prison and all that kind of stuff, and it was all over the news, talk shows, you know, the late night TV shows, all of that. It was huge. So that can help you in your eBay business, which is a perfect segue to remind you to watch my video on eBay for basically Gen Xers and baby boomers. You know, how to do this business. I've got a link to that right above, and I'm offering a special where if you book a phone consultation, I I'll give you some free class, a free course you can download and take. So I just wanted to share this kind of funny experience because this is what keeps eBay interesting, is just doing different things and selling different kinds of items and going with your intuition, and it works out. So I was totally happy with selling this for let me show you my sale here again. Selling this for, $50. I paid $6 for it. I still made good money. I learned something. Somebody got a cool item. So it all works out. I'm not beating myself up because I didn't charge more, because, I don't think I could have gotten $300 for it. But, you live and learn and go on. So I'm happy with that. So anyway, thanks for watching. Would love your opinion, your comments on this story. If you remember the whole Martha Stewart thing going on, and if you even knew about this poncho, because I kind of remember it in the news, but like I just didn't put that together because it was so many years ago. So but people on my Facebook group remembered, and they reminded me that's what this was. So another reason to be in these groups and network with other sellers, because you will learn something every single day, and sometimes multiple things a day. And as Martha says, it's a good thing. Thanks for watching, y'all. Have a good day. Bye.